Hi, this is Jonathan. I am making this video just to give you a few heads up for people who want to go ahead and then work on the Twitter account. This is just to give you a few helper tips to reduce your learning curve if you want to go ahead and take a crack at this assignment. All right, so first thing you're going to have to do is go to developer.twitter.com, okay? And then where you're here, okay, go ahead, click on apply right here. Okay, all right. So once you go ahead and sign in, by the way, you have to have a Twitter account for this step to go ahead and work, just as a quick heads up. But once you go ahead and sign in, you'll be prompted with some questions to go ahead, start your account. It's probably fine just to choose hobbyist for now. Okay, we can do exploring the API. All right. And so the thing here, Twitter's going to want to go ahead and verify that you are not a bot, okay? And so you'll have to go ahead and just go through, a few details here, just so you can get your account approved. Okay, and then take a look over here. We will fill this out. Country do you live in? Okay, we'll choose the US. All right, new level. Okay, we can do that. All right, we'll come again here next. Okay, and so give a reason. It doesn't have to be too specific. Just something that gives you just signals that you have some legitimate interest in using the API for good reasons. Okay, so I want to are you putting in this for data? Yes. Twitter data. Text involved. And transform it into working data sets. No. Are you just like to Twitter content? I'll say Twitter. Do you say tweets? Let's say this. I will use the Twitter data to turn in as a homework assignment. Results can be evaluated by my instructor. Okay, that sounds good. We heard no, we're definitely not going to be able to do that. Okay, let's go ahead and hit next. All right, let's hit next over here. Let's agree to their terms of service. Okay, so click this box. Okay, and so once you've done that, you submitted the application. All right, this typically gets approved pretty quickly, but still, it's usually a good idea to do it at least a couple of days ahead of time, just to make sure you don't accidentally get stuck somewhere. Okay, so I'll go ahead. I will check my email. So we'll go ahead and let this load in. All right, we'll verify your Twitter developer account. Okay, let's confirm the email. All right, if we're here, we can go ahead and just fill this out. Exploring the API. Description. Tutor homework. Over Jonathan Bechtel. API homework. Okay, so once you're here, okay, you're going to be given these details right over here. You probably want to go ahead and copy these and then save them somewhere else. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's set up something on our notepad. And over here, and then finally over here, let's see what this is. Okay, the bear token. Alrighty. All right, let's just save this. All right, beautiful. Okay, because it's fairly common. Once you see these things, they don't show them to you again. You can always regenerate them, so it's not too much of an issue, but still, you're not going to be able to go ahead and retrieve these values all the time. So we'll go ahead, we'll go to dashboard. Okay. And so now, once you have your tokens, you are basically ready to go ahead and begin the rest of the assignment. Okay.
All right, everyone. So once you have, your account set up, let's just take a quick look at what you have to do to get started here. Okay, with the actual program itself. Okay, with the homework assignment. So give me 1 minute here, if you would. So if you go ahead and take a look at the class. Okay, if you go into the homework folder. Okay. And if you go over here, right, to the Twitter homework, okay. Okay, right, so section 1, right, is just setting up your developer account, okay. Okay, we created an app, so we went ahead and we did that. Okay, we created our API tokens. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, next thing you have to do here, okay, is you actually have to go ahead and then you have to install an additional library called request install request OAuth lib. All right, this is going to allow you to make authenticated requests to Twitter. Okay, because the idea is Twitter has a free API, but they actually have to be able to verify your account in order for you to go ahead and connect to the data. Okay, so let's go ahead. All right, I'm an Anaconda prompt. If you're in Apple, you want to go ahead and then connect to your terminal. So what we want to do here, so pip install, okay, request OAuth lib. I probably spelled this incorrectly. Yep, it's a UTH. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. All right. In my case, it's already installed, but you want to go ahead and do it for yourself. All right. So now the idea then, okay, once you do this, if you click on the link over here, okay, you'll see this info right over here, right? Your app key, your app secret, your auth token, your auth token secret right over here like this, okay? So you basically have to go ahead and then load it in to a variable like this and go ahead and pass that in when you connect to the API endpoint, okay? So if we go over here, right, it's the same thing. Ideally, you want to be able to go ahead and save all these details when you open up your Twitter account. If for whatever reason, right, you forget them, it's easy enough to go ahead and then just recreate them again. Over here to the Twitter API homework, okay. And so big thing, project details, count. All right, and then we have the access token secret. So we'll go ahead, we'll save this. We'll go ahead and replace it right over here. Okay. And then what we'll go ahead and do here, okay, so now the idea then, right, likely enough, there's actually a pretty good overview right over here. If you want to go and connect using this library and then pass in your security token to go and authenticate, you basically need to include these items right over here, right? So app key, app secret, auth token secret. And so that's going to go ahead and then correspond pretty nicely right to what we have over here where we have Twitter tokens and then all this fun stuff right over here like this, okay? So to demonstrate very quickly how this is going to work, all right, I'll just go ahead over here. All right, from request, OAuth 1. All right, let's do this. One, and then let's import requests right over here, okay? And if you look at the homework, all right, if you want to, okay, it actually gives you the URL right over here. All right, so if you copy this, all right, and so what we can do here, auth is equal to OAuth 1, okay, and then pretty much what we should be able to do here, okay, is just go ahead, all right, and just kind of take a look over here, right? So your app key, your app secret, user auth token secret. So we'll take the app key right over here. And we will put it into this one. All right, we will take the secret API, the secret token, put it right over here. All right, and then the access token. And then the access token secret. All right, and so now the idea then, okay, for the authorization argument, so when you use the request library to go ahead and connect to an API, all right, obviously you pass the URL over here, and then if you have additional authentication information you want to go ahead and pass in, okay, we're basically creating it right over here. And then what you can do then, do this, it's 200 right over here. And then if you tack on, right, the JSON method, okay, here you go. All right, this will basically just go ahead and just kind of confirm, right, that you can go ahead and you can make authenticated requests to the API. And at this point, you're really pretty much good to go. Okay, that should be enough to go ahead and get you started. The additional prompts you're going to see here, if you take a look at it, again, are just going to give you a few additional heads up with regards to how to go ahead and actually access the API in different ways. Okay, because the big thing is a lot of times when you go ahead and you access your API endpoints, you can actually pass in, okay, different types of parameters, okay? And you can see that right over here, okay? So if you actually access the Twitter URL, so for example, if I go ahead, do this, and then if I go to Twitter, okay, one thing you'll note, if I actually search Twitter for the hashtag data science, okay, you actually see here, right, twitter.com/search/Q right over question mark Q is equal to data science, all right? And so what you're actually doing is you're actually pinging the API, okay, in different ways, searching for the data science hashtag right over here. Percentage sign 23 stands for data science, okay? And so the idea is this particular section just kind of goes over and asks you to practice some of the mechanics, okay, for how you sort of might actually go ahead and like pass in phrases like this when you're accessing the API, okay. And then second one right over here, right, is if you're accessing the API, okay, how to actually pass in additional parameters as well, okay, because you can specify, maybe return 50 results, okay, or, maybe return results in sort of ascending or descending order and things like that, okay. And so the idea here is when you go ahead and you access the API endpoint, it's going to be this one right over here, okay. You can basically say access the API, okay, pass in the actual phrase you want to search for, and then you can do things like and count is equal to 50 and result type is equal to mixed, okay. And then there are other arguments you can go and pass in if you want, but that's just kind of meant to be an example. And then thirdly, okay, what you're doing over here is you're given a list of just different endpoints to go ahead and then connect to, all right? So if you go and if you click on these, okay, you'll be brought to a number of endpoints. Just choose the ones for version 1.1 for now. That's perfectly fine, okay? And then if you go over here, okay, you'll be given the actual endpoint right over here like this, okay? And then just different arguments you can go and pass in if that's what you want to go ahead and do, right? And the same thing, they'll give you an example of how you might want to go ahead and do this to sort of say a specified count is equal to 5,000 or look for someone's screen name and things like that. And these are the list of arguments you can go ahead and pass in, okay? And so the idea then, what you're going to be doing, okay, is you might be writing a function, or you will be writing a function, okay, like find user, okay. This, the idea is, all right, you just want to be able to go ahead and then return the results like this type of function. So for example here, if you have find user, okay, in a Python file, okay, you should be able to go ahead and write it in such a way, okay, you can go ahead, connect to an API endpoint, okay, like this. All right, and then we could do something like this, right? So it says screen name right over here. Okay, and so you could do something like this. The cursor, and then since we want to specify screen name, you can maybe do something like this. Notice here, right, I am using the format operator just to kind of go ahead, pass in the argument, okay, for screen name into this, like this, pass in JSON, return data. And so now the idea then, if I did this, find user GA, okay, I'd get results like this right over here, okay? Now again, you have to take some time, do a little bit of research, right, and kind of look through some of the different endpoints right over here. Again, just use them for 1.1, that's all. Don't worry about using version 2. That's a newer version of the API, which the homework is not updated for. It just got released by Twitter, okay? And then the idea then, okay, so once you can go and connect to the API, all right, for each homework, okay, for each function that you're asked to go ahead and solve for, write the function with the appropriate arguments right over here. Write them so that way they go ahead and they return the correct results. Okay, this is how you'll go and be tested, and do at least 3 of these. Okay, to get passing credit for the assignment, and then go ahead and then take the bonus options if you want to go ahead and go that far. Okay, so good luck. Wish you the best. If you have any questions, feel free to get a hold of me on Slack. And I look forward to seeing your work, everyone. Thank you.
Beautiful.